posted in English, maybe they should get them in Spanish.
Well, I'm just saying, between LA, New York City, Washington, Chicago, Detroit, where you have your highest murder rates, you also have your highest rates of gun control. That nobody does drive-by shootings in Texas, because there'll be 6 people by the end of the block that will make sure you never do it again.
But let me be the devil's advocate here and question you on that. Now, isn't that just because people are able to import guns from other areas into these cities?
England banned guns, what, 3 years ago now? 4 years ago? Gun crime is so out of control. Did you know, they love to say, oh, America, we think that we're like the murder capital of the world because we have the most deaths due to gunshot. We don't have the most deaths, though. We're excluding machetes, ropes, knives, beer steins, all sorts of things, right? So now they've got like 4 to 6 million illegal guns. It's an island. England is a complete island. And yet there's machine gun fire on the streets. It is out of control. 60% of children say crime does pay because when you defend yourself, they put you in jail. It's out of control. And they are the proof.
But people don't even believe that when you tell them that. They do not believe.
1 out of every 4 people in England and Wales is a victim of some kind of crime now.
They
1 out of every 4.
They don't even believe it. It's very difficult to get people even to believe.
America doesn't make the top 10 of civilized nations for violent crime now. It doesn't make the top 10. More people die from guns, but it's gangs.
But there's a bigger point here, too. If we were to ban guns, abolish them from the world,
like they have in England
which would
and
be
Australia.
impossible.
Yes.
You're still paving the way for a tyrannical government.
Number 1. And number 2, what about
doesn't
knives?
That sound paranoid, though? Doesn't that sound...
I tell you, not when you take a look at the world. What's paranoid about it? The world is full of tyranny.
Well, I guess we have to ask ourselves, do we want to live in a world where only the police, the military, and the government have guns, are armed?
And if the government really cares about the people, wouldn't the government want the people to be able to defend themselves, whether it's an attack on the home or just to preserve liberty, if
Since it's their
were to
job.
happen?
Well, let's go back to England. Let's get this straight. So what you're saying is that they've banned guns entirely throughout England.
Yeah, now they're going to ban air pistols.
And
now there's
self-defense.
And
self-defense.
self-defense. If a guy comes in like with a stick and you pick up a baseball bat, you will get into trouble because you have used a greater weapon than that which you were faced with. Tony Martin, very famous case. 3 guys break into his home, and they'd been breaking into his house for a while, and he lives in the country, and it's just like these roving bands of gypsies that just prey on people because they're so far away from any kind of
law enforcement.
Yeah, law enforcement. 3 guys, they had 175 robbery convictions between the 3 of them.
Wow.
I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm actually not. 175 convictions between the 3 of them. He takes his shotgun, he shoots 2 of them. They give him a life sentence. Now, and meanwhile, the rehab, the one guy, is already out on the street. 1 guy died. And now they finally, because the outcry, international, was so ridiculous that this man was defending himself, and they gave him a life sentence in prison. They finally let him out, and he's allowed to have a bell. Oh yeah, he's got a bell outside his home that he can ring. Meanwhile, the friends of these, attackers are all set to come in, so he has no hope. He has no life. I think that we should volunteer to move him to Texas or Vermont or Wyoming or someplace that still has respect for his rights as a human.
The perception, though, people don't even believe it. I've talked to people out there in parties and other places, and they just do not believe that the violent crime rate in England or the murder rate in England is lower than that of the United States.
George Harrison, we know about George Harrison. Do we know about Liza Minnelli and her husband?
Yeah.
They were mugged. Do we know about,
they were in their vehicle at a stoplight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were mugged. The wife of the guy, that signed the bill, she was robbed for all of her rings right in front of the house. They kill people for cell phones now. It's out of control. There is not even a famous person that has not been touched in one way or another by violent crime. The situation's out of control in England. Now they're like, oh, what can we do? So now they're trying to ban BB guns.
But it doesn't change the fact that they have banned self-defense or made it illegal.
They made it self-defense. And let me tell you something. If guns were banned and someone of your size comes into my house, do you think I care if you have a gun? Your bare hands are enough to overpower me. It doesn't matter if you have a chair, a rope, your bare hands, a knife, my underwear to strangle me with. No, let's be honest. It doesn't matter. But I can stop you before you get through my bedroom door with a gun.
Before you get
Better
close
than the
enough.
rope in my hands and the knife and this and that. But I can protect myself at a distance from you, theoretically, because I like you, without, I mean, what am I, kung fu? What am I going to do? Some maniacal meth head comes through my window. What, do I want to fuss with a trigger lock? Do I want to be fighting with a safe? No, I want my gun where I can get to it like that. Because you don't get memos. This is the whole thing, what people tend to forget, is that part of the success rate of a crime is the fact that you don't know they're coming. Okay, it's called the surprise. It's called, oh, you had no idea that they were going to come through your window until it's too late. You don't have time. What do you want? Do you want your cell phone? Do you want a 45? I mean, these are very simple questions that you need to ask people. Some people pick the cell phone.
It's important to point out, though, that when you dial 911, it will probably be busy. And even if it's not busy, it takes this long for the crime to be in flight. It's happening before the police get here.
Even Public
It's too
Enemy
late.
sang a song. 911 is a joke.
And certainly a lot of when you live in a lot of people that when they call 911 in what I was talking about before in low-income minority neighborhoods, the police may or may not come.
Right.
It's not an indictment on the police. I'm just saying that that's the way it is.
Well,
in
the
a lot
city
of
council here
neighborhoods
in
where
Los
they have
Angeles.
the
That's
strictest
right.
gun control laws.
They said, after the second call, they don't go unless you're with the city council. I don't
Right.
know if you saw the next day they kind of gave themselves that little caveat. Well, except for us, you could come as many times.
So the Liberty Bells can be found on the internet. This is a .org out there.
That's right, www.libertybells.org.
BLLES, okay. And the Libertarian Party, if anyone would like any more information about the Libertarian Party, can be found at www.lp.org. And you can register to vote in most states as a Libertarian at your local post office. So what do you say to your kids? I mean, you have 3 kids.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you say to your kids about guns?
Well, I've taken my son Hamlet, my oldest, my 7-year-old, has been to the range several times. They all have been. The youngest, obviously, is still scared. The first year that I brought my son, he was 5, and he was very scared. They were very loud. And so for that first summer, whenever we went, he just stayed back and played and ate hot dogs, which was great. He understood guns, and he had a healthy fear and respect of them, which I think is fabulous. By the time he was 6, he had his own instructor, fabulous NRA-trained instructor, who would take him, with a .22 up at the table and help him sight it and teach him. And so he loved it. Now he's 7, he does it again.
And on that note, we have to leave. Thank you both for coming out.
Thank you for having us.
And thanks for watching The Libertarian Alternative. We'll see you next time.
Don't give up, learn to live. Show the world you're painted in. The colors there are so deep and rich. Who could resist this magical chill? Hold the freedom in your hands. Feel so smooth it never ends. Watch your fears begin to melt. Tell your lover